Wow, Parker, your first video and you're already clickbaiting?
Yeah, I know. Hey there, welcome back to Recall Yesterday. This is my first actual video, and I'm seriously nervous, so hopefully that doesn't mess up the video too much. So, this happened a couple months ago, back when school was still in session. In my freshman year of college, one of the classes I was taking was a biology course. I'm a bio major, so there's a lot of those. But anyway, one of the assignments we were given was to head out to a wildlife habitat to do some research, and then put together a presentation about the area and its wildlife. I chose to travel to some wetlands, specifically the Glacier Ridge Metro Park. I'd actually never been there, but the people I asked about it told me it was a great place to hike, and I was excited to see some birds. And birds I did see, but we'll get to that later. So I take my car out. Sorry, I don't know how to draw cars. And it's like a 30-minute drive from downtown Columbus. It's apparently a tourist kind of place, so I wanted to show up before it got crazy, you know? I park, and I start heading down the Ironweed Trail. I've got my binoculars and some snacks, and as soon as I walk into the woods, I notice some birds. Some brown-headed cowbirds, to be specific. And sidetrack, if you guys haven't heard the cowbird song before, it's a real treat. I'll give you this one as a freebie. Oh, that's a sweet tune. I could see them from pretty far away, but I wanted to get a closer look. But that would mean going off trail. This was my first mistake. I headed off the trail and was confronted with a very small stream. It was super thin and pretty insignificant and surrounded by this much larger mud pit. The birds were so tantalizingly close, and all I had to do to see them was cross this thin, irrelevant stream. But that's when I made my second mistake. I took a step forward and immediately regretted my decision as I fell. 4 feet into the mud. The mud puddle was really deep, and now I'm up to my stomach in the stuff. I panicked, because of course I did, and reached out for a tree root. And it wasn't like it was quicksand or anything. I was gonna be fine, but in the moment, I thought I was dying, okay? Gosh. I can only imagine what the cowbirds were thinking.
Look at this idiot human.
That's what he gets for trying to gaze upon our beauty.
His hubris took control, like Icarus before him.
The cowbirds won't save you now, puny boy.
I'll spare you the explanation of the long, tedious process that it took to fish myself out. I'm not the strongest guy, so I really had to rely on some heat-of-the-moment adrenaline. I got out, eventually, and was totally ruined from the waist down. Mud doesn't mix well with clothes, as it turns out. And this is actually kind of pathetic to say in retrospect, but so I could have just left. There were people going up and down the trail, and they would have seen me, and it would have been embarrassing and all, but I really should have just left. But after this horrific life or death experience, I was just kind of left in this state, and my only goal was to get as clean as possible as fast as possible. So I did what anyone would do, I guess. I followed the tiny, insignificant stream until the mud was actually walkable, and then I used the dumb stream to clean myself off. Very slowly and inefficiently, I should add. Eventually, I managed to drag myself back to my car and get out of there. But sadly, while I survived that day, my pants, they didn't make it. I just tossed them out. But not my jacket. I can't throw this out. It's important, and it's also like part of my brand image now. And if anyone is curious about the project, I went back to the park a few days later to actually do the research, and after my presentation, I got an A-. So like, thank you, professor. I honestly think that the professor felt kind of bad for me, because my presentation wasn't even that good, but I still got a good grade. There's nothing that can resurrect a dead project more than a tragic tale of a man-eating mud pit, apparently. And I guess that's it. Oh, I'm starting a Twitter, so check the description for that. I don't know how often I'll use it, but more exciting things are in the works, so be sure to stick around.